The Allegheny Journal is honored to speak with Michael Hoover today. Most of you know him as the world's best Elvis impersonator. We are really excited to talk to this guy who has been all around the world impersonating Elvis. Welcome, sir.
I appreciate it, Jerry. It's my pleasure to talk to you guys.
Michael, you were born in Washington D.C.
I
and
was, yeah.
you're a Rockville, Maryland boy. How did you know when you started out? How did you decide I'm going to make this a career? It's one thing to succeed at it. It's another thing to first realize, hey, I can do this.
Well, I started actually, when I was a kid, I would sing in the backyard to the neighbors and stuff like that. When I got into junior high school, I put together the first band. Now you got to remember, this is back in the '60s when the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all that were popular. Elvis was doing movies, but my junior high band and my high school band, we did some Elvis songs. So I was always going to be a singer. I just kind of grew into the Elvis part, and I was always a huge Elvis fan. And when we got out of school, we're playing clubs in different places, and we always did a set of Elvis songs. And then when Elvis passed away, and I started getting calls to, can you come and do your Elvis songs? And I said, sure. So it just kind of evolved into what it is today. I had, had brown hair, blondish hair. So I went with the black hair, just like Elvis did. And I grew into the part, and I really couldn't tell you where there's a point where, I said, this is what I'm going to do. It's always been what I was going to do. I wasn't necessarily going to strictly just do Elvis, but that's kind of, where that's the direction that it took me. So here we are.
Was that a real shock? I mean, it was to the world, but you particularly when Elvis died in 1977. I mean,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
must have really been devastating.
I remember I was driving home. I played a club, and I'm trying to think of where I was. I think I was somewhere in Virginia, and when I first heard the news, I said, that can't be true. It must be. I just keep hearing Presley. I didn't hear Elvis. So I thought maybe Vernon had died or one of the Presleys. And then, by the time I got home, I had that sinking feeling that, it was Elvis. And then of course it was. So I was just devastated. It was still hard to believe. Even after all this time, there's still rumors, oh, he's not dead. He's just hiding somewhere, and the body in the casket was a wax figure. You know, oh, just all kind of crazy stuff.
Sure,
You know,
47 years ago, though. I mean,
I mean, it's
wow.
incredible.
And
Yeah,
so and so you've made a really successful career of this, and what I think you told us more than 30 years now,
yeah,
going all around the country. I guess really the phone still rings off the hook. Now, a lot of this generation may not know that much about Elvis, but
yeah.
I mean, I can remember my aunt screaming at the television on how excited she was. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I get it. Well, now Graceland is smart enough to know that, that our generation is slowly but surely fading. So they're trying to get like the next generation. So I've seen a change in people come to see our shows. We're getting some younger people that don't know what Elvis was all about, and they're curious. And like my grandkids, of course, they know Elvis because of me. But
And so, Michael, the younger generation is trying to get a feel for the music, and you're keeping this alive.
right,
That's got to be really cool to see some of younger people, in addition to us oldsters.
absolutely. And of course you had back several years ago, you had Lilo and Stitch, which was aimed at that younger generation. It was a cartoon, and it had a bunch of Elvis songs in it. So you got that generation, and then you got yeah, the movie. When the movie came out with Austin Butler, that was a shot in the arm for us.
You know, this guy was, you know, a singer, and he had moves that nobody had ever seen before.
Right.
Some saw it at the time; they thought it was a little racy,
Yeah,
but
it did, right?
but he was so full of himself. And then, not in a, you know, he did shows. He made the most of the military. I mean, this is a character unprecedented
Absolutely.
in showbiz history. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. You know, you got to figure his career span basically was a little over 20 years. And nobody has had that kind of career in that span of time. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody. You know, like Neil Diamond is still going, but he's in his 70s, I'm sure. But he's got Elvis just did all of that in a really quick 20 years.
Well, to get to what's going on, you're going to be part of an ushering in the Christmas season.
Looking
It's
forward
called
to it.
that event, and it's going to be Saturday, November 30th, here at the Historic Masonic Theatre. So, the whole region welcomes you back once again.
My pleasure. I'm looking forward to it. And my good friend Glen Shelton will be there, and Crimson River Band. So we're going to have some rock and roll, Christmas music, gospel, a little bit of everything. I mean, whatever you like, we're going to have it for you. So come out and see us.
And one more thing before we let you go. Of all the songs that you perform all these years, do you have a favorite one?
You know, that's tough. You know, it really depends on a lot of things. You know, the audience, you know, I kind of feed off the audience. They really love the up tempo stuff. My favorite songs are still, you know, I love the gospel stuff. Nobody, you know, sang gospel quite like Elvis. One of my favorite songs has always been Marty Robbins, who wrote "You Gave Me a Mountain." That's one of my favorite songs.
Well, hopefully the crowd will get to hear that one then, huh?
Oh, I do that song in every show. You know, and I always say this is a song that Marty Robbins wrote, and every concert I ever, you know, every recorded concert on TV, I went to 3 shows, you know, back in the day when Elvis was alive, and he always did "You Gave Me a Mountain" in every show I ever saw. Great song.
Well, we really look forward to seeing you once again. It's a delight and honor to speak with you, and it'll be Saturday. Well, Saturday, November 30th at the Historic Masonic Theatre, and I predict you're going to have a rousing crowd.
I predict the same.
Thanks again for taking the time to speak with us.
Jerry, it was my pleasure, and I appreciate all you do for us, and I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, sir. See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.